welcome back to my channel. Thanks for sticking with me this far. So in this video we'll be learning how to cut this trendy ruched sleeve. So let's get into the video. Watch till the end. Thank you. So the very first thing we're going to do is to take our length measurement. Note, mine is a short sleeve, but I'm just going to be using a long sleeve measurement for illustration's sake. When I'm sewing it, I'm going to turn it to my short sleeve. So you just take your sleeve measurement. If you are making it a long sleeve, the long sleeve measurement is, I'm taking 22.5 inches. You just cut it the same way you cut your basic sleeve measurement. I have a video on my channel in case you want to learn how to cut that. I have a video on my channel, you can just scroll and search for it. So it's just the normal basics. Measure your 4 inches down, then you connect it your armhole. Then you measure your arm measurement. I'm adding my 0.5 inches for allowance. Then at the down part, take your round sleeve measurement for 0.5 inch. You connect it together. But in that video it is more detailed, like how to cut the sleeve. So if you don't know how to, you can just go back to the video to get knowledge. So after this, I'll just cut it out, then start the main sewing, or the main cutting rather. Now I've cut my sleeve out. This is the sleeve I'm working with. So you just get the midpoint of, I'm using a newspaper by the way, because I could not get the brown paper to use. So since I'm not going to be using it for like something serious, it's just to help me my pattern, so you can use a newspaper. I'm not measuring anything on it. So you just measure your midpoint. This is the part you're going to start your sewing on. It's just for guidance sake. Measure it. So now I'm going to place my net on it. Place your net with allowance, and you make it like bigger part. So for this part, you're going to make the allowance like very big. You leave like big sides at the lower part. I'm cutting mine at the lower part like this because it is a short sleeve, like I said at the beginning. It's not a long sleeve, so I just cut it at that side. But if you're making yours if you're making yours a long sleeve, you're not going to cut that down part that I cut. You just cut the sides, then use the length of the net as your down parts. I hope this is clear enough. So now after cutting our net out, you bring it to your table. Then you are going to sew on this mid part, that line that we marked. That's where we're going to start our stitches from. So now I've brought it to the machine to show you how we're going to make that pleats that we're going to make. So from that midpoint, you just make like small pleat, then you sew on it on the midpoint, that line that we marked the other time. You just make your piece. So this is the part where I'm going to turn mine to short sleeve instead of long. I just use the long sleeve for like illustration sake, but my style is in a short sleeve form because my client doesn't like a long sleeve style. So on that straight line, you just continue sewing your sleeve down. If you're using your long sleeve, sew it down to the end and keep making your plating. Now I'm done with the midpoint, with the mid part. You just make the same thing for this side. You're going to sew this side too, like you have two sides of the sleeve, this part and the other part. So take the first part, then you sew that part down too. While sewing, you're making this plating too, the same way the plating formed at the midpoint. You're going to make the same pleat at the side like this. Then you just sew it down also, the same way you sew the middle, just sew it down. Now I'm done with my stitches. Then this is how my short sleeve is looking. I've cut out the remaining length already. So this part is just where you're going to add to your sleeve. Now I'm done with the newspaper. It's already tearing already. So you just remove your newspaper or your pattern paper or anything you're using. You remove it because we are done with it. It was just to help us not miscalculate. So now you just have to trim this side. It's better for it to be much than for it not to be enough. So you just trim it out the two sides. Then that is the part you're going to make your joining, your sleeve joining on the stitched part, because we already added our allowance to the pattern earlier. So you just sew on this stitched part, and we're done with our tutorial. So if this video was helpful to you, please like, subscribe to my channel, comment. You can drop any questions you have and I'll be there to answer it. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.